Internet on the road can be super frustrating. We spent years testing every option and finally cracked the code to getting blazing fast internet on the road. You've never seen any YouTuber talk about this before, and no, it's not what you think. 7 years ago, I made a video to teach people how to get great internet on the road. There were big antennas, big wires. A lot has changed since then. One of the biggest things is that we started making our own internet device. Welcome to the InstaConnect shop. The first place we're going to drop over to, we're going to say hi to Nat as she is putting together our 5G modem. So this part right here is basically like the hotspot. This is what talks to the towers so that it can get you internet. So a lot of people ask me, well, Nick, is your system satellite based or is it cellular based? It's cellular based, but it's much different than you might think. Now what she's building right there is the modem module, and that looks something like this. Now what we do with this makes all the difference, because where the magic happens in our system is in the antenna. We actually manufacture all these antennas right here in the shop. This is one of our squared antennas. This is a high gain antenna that's going to work to get you a signal when you're way far out. Now this modem module goes inside this high gain antenna, and it ends up going somewhere on the outside of your rig. Now I think the best way to show you how this works is to give you an example. Our shop is in the hills and hollers of Tennessee, and this would be in a spot where a lot of people would come and say, well, the signal here isn't very good. I'm not able to use my phone and hotspot, so I think I'm just going to have to go with satellite. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not your only answer. So you can see up at the top, we barely have any internet at all. We only have like 1 bar of LTE, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and try to run a speed test to get to the shade right here. And with that just little bar, it's going to struggle. We got maybe 1. You know, this wouldn't necessarily be something that you can stream on. You maybe, if you wanted to wait around for a while, this would be considered a poor signal, okay? And that video that I made taught people how to hook up antennas so that you could get a very good signal. Now, what we have here is one of our squared antennas with the modem inside it. This is the same cellular service that you saw on my phone, same provider and everything, and we test each one of these before they go out. So let me show you what difference having a great antenna makes. All right, we're gonna head over to shipping where Jenna's getting this one ready to go, and we have it here on our test machine, and it's getting a 64% signal. Again, this is the same provider as that cell phone was. Let's go ahead and run a speed test so you can see what this means when you have a great antenna, okay? So we were getting what, like 1, maybe 2 outside on the phone, but here with the good antenna, we're getting like 60, 70, 80, you know, quite a bit faster, almost 90 down, with the same service. When we came to do this, we said we're gonna go with the antenna first so that we can get people speeds way out, and that's why we built all of these, right? So this is kind of the where our system's been. That's one we started out with, then we moved over to the Cloud Wings, now we're here at the squared. And we keep trying to make this thing even better to try to fill in those places all around the country where cellular might not work. So that video I did years ago was pretty complicated. It had like big wires, big antennas, all kinds of stuff. So over the years, we've tried to make it into a system that was super easy to install. So I got it laid out like right here. This is the antenna that I was talking about. And we have a ladder mount that basically like hooks up to your ladder. 1 wire that goes from that down to the router right here. And then basically you plug it in, and that's all you need to do. There are a lot of YouTubers out there that are talking about these big systems that have external antennas, and I've tried almost every single one of them, and I can confidently say that we build the best antenna in the market. This antenna was designed at Center Lake Campground in Custer State Park, South Dakota, where nobody has a signal at all. Even satellite doesn't work there because of the tree cover. So I know what you might be saying. I know there are places that just don't have a cell signal. And I agree, there are places around that just don't have a cell signal. And a lot of people think, well, because of that, I need to get satellite, and that's my only option. So I'm stuck having to pay tons of money. Well, Jenna's over here now at our router baking facility. She's basically putting our programming on each one of the routers. And what's nice about our system is that we created a smart router that can actually help you save money month over month. To really explain this, let's go back outside and show you how I have this hooked up. So up here on the top of our 5th wheel, we have our Insta squared antenna, and then right next to it, you can see we have a satellite. This is a Starlink Mini. We have these both permanently mounted, and we keep these there all the time. We installed this the summer last year, and we haven't moved them ever since. Now, the reason that works like it does, and that we don't have to move that satellite all over the place, is that we're not really using that satellite. We have it there as a backup only. So we have a wire that comes down to this portion in our underbelly here, and you can see our smart router right there, and the satellite just runs right into that port right there. This router is pre-programmed to find the satellite and be able to work with it immediately. So let me show you on my phone what that actually looks like here. So you can see, like, I have like barely any signal there. It just popped up. I'm gonna go ahead and log into our camper. Let's connect Valor right there. Let me go over to our little app that we have. This is our dashboard. This is the programming that we put on that smart router. We have two sources on the dashboard right now. This top one is our cellular, and then you could see the Starlink right underneath that. That white line right there for each of those is the uptime that we have seen recently on the router for both. The cellular has the line straight across. It's had no downtime, and then the Starlink is pretty typical where it has these little dips every now and then as the satellites are passing by. Let's go ahead and run a speed test so I can show you what our cellular is giving to us at this point in time. It is giving us up over 100 megs down right there. So we're getting plenty of speed. We get great uptime by using the cellular, even out here way out in the sticks of Tennessee. So the cool thing about our router is that it can watch both of these sources, and then if at any point the top source goes down, it can automatically fail over to the Starlink. So what we normally do as we're going around the country is that we'll run our cellular pretty much 90 to 95% of the places that we go. So this means that we don't have to have unlimited data on the satellite. So what I really like about that is that we don't have to be strapped down with just one source, is that we can actually protect ourselves from any price increases that might come, like that has been happening with satellite recently. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you, we can just go ahead and change the active internet source just by dragging it up there and then clicking save. So as this resets itself, you can see here now we got both of them online, and then we got the Starlink as the current internet source. So I'm going to go ahead and run a speed test. So we could say, all right, now we're on SpaceX Starlink. We're going to go ahead and run the speed test there. One of the things that I like about having the 50 gigs is that it's priority service. Now, that being said, even though it's priority service, it might not run quite as fast as cellular in a lot of places, just because here out in Tennessee, there's a little bit more population. I have a pretty clear view of the sky, but sometimes the speed is just not quite as fast as cellular might be. Even though we're way out in the sticks of Tennessee, the overall population here is quite a bit more than, like, let's say Quartzsite or so. So we are seeing some pretty fast speeds on satellite, you know, outside of Quartzsite, especially when the RV show wasn't going on. But typically we will see cellular beating it, especially with our 5G antenna, since it's out and up there and it's actually able to pick up 5G pretty easily. So what I tried to do with this router is give it everything that you might need for life on the road. Now, if you have to do something like, let's say you have to drive and you need to do like Zoom calls and everything, we have a service called Speedify on here where you can basically turn that on and it can bond the two connections together so that it can do like really, really fast failover. It actually uses both connections at the very same time, so you can have real rock solid internet just about wherever you go. Now, let me show you something really interesting that I won't get too much into, but I thought I would show you since we're the ones that actually build these. We have a few of them and we try them on different things. This is our tow vehicle. We call them haunches. You can see here we have a system set up. We have our Insti-Squared antenna with the Starlink Mini, both going into the router that's inside the truck. This one runs whenever the truck is running. So we have used this going down the road and actually have had Zoom calls from like Iowa all the way to Tennessee and haven't dropped it at all. The nice thing about this is that we utilize unlimited cellular, so we're not spending like $165 a month. We're spending around $100 a month for that one, and then we utilize the 50 gigs on there, and we hardly ever get to that 50 gig point because we're utilizing the unlimited cellular, and with our antenna, we can utilize it in so many more places than like a phone or a hotspot can. So in that case, I'll turn on Speedify, and as we're going down the road, it just automatically manages the connections. I can tell it how much speed to use, and it's just super simple to do. So one of the nice things about this setup as well is that you can pause the individual services if you need to. So like, let's say we go somewhere, cellular is strong, we're not going to be moving for a long time. We can go ahead and pause the satellite and then just fire it up if we ever need to. We built it specifically for people on the road, and I love hearing from those people on how they're using it. A lot of people love the fact that you can just set it and forget it. And because you're not always relying on satellite, you don't have to move the thing and put it on your car and make sure you're not under any branches, because a lot of times you're using cellular. And when you have a good antenna, you get much, much better performance. and you don't have to quite worry about how your phones are working and all of that stuff. So you might be asking, all right, well, Nick, how do I get a system? It's pretty easy. You just head over to InsyConnect.com. If you want to be connected in 90 to 95% of the places around the country, you can just get our system and call it good, right? We have a lot of data plans starting at 19 bucks, and you can pick the one that works best for you. You can save a lot of money every month. And then if you are that person that's like, hey, I want 100% coverage no matter what, we can help you with that too. By tying the two together, you don't have to be paying hundreds upon hundreds of dollars per month. You actually use them a little bit smarter so that you can get the best performance out of both. So if you're looking for a sweet internet system and like the fact that you're supporting a homegrown family business, we have a discount code right down below that you can use to get into the InsyConnect at a pretty good discount. Just wanted to say one thing though, is if you saw us through one of our affiliates, like a different YouTube channel that said, hey, check these guys out, make sure to go to their link and to use their affiliate link so that they get the credit. I want to make sure that we give credit to whoever lets you know about us. Since we are a small family business, we have an affiliate program to try to help get the word out. And if you're somebody that has quite an audience that you'd love to share InsyConnect with, we'd love to talk to you. Just head over to InsyConnect.com and go to help and shoot us in a message. We'd love to talk to you. We're ready here, ready to take any of your questions. Also, if you know someone that's struggling to get great internet, please share this video with them. Let them know that we make a system that's really easy to install that gives you the most options out there. We know what it's like to have the pull to get out on the road, but still need to be connected while we're out there. So that's why we love doing what we're doing. We've been doing this for a few years now, and now we're just trying to spread the word even more. If you're brand new here, be sure to subscribe because I talk about all kinds of stuff, not just internet, but I talk about like how to power your rig. This thing right here is pretty cool. Picture this as one of those really expensive solar setup systems right here, but except you only paid like 30 bucks for it, right? So if you want to see what that one is all about, be sure to subscribe. And I'll talk about that in an upcoming video. Thanks so much for joining me. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks, bye-bye.